Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. It's me and my co-host Abrar Aziz, and today we're discussing breaking news. We thought we would be anyway coming together today and talk to you about the series, but we have some other news that is coming through, and that is that Virat Kohli has stepped down as India Test captain. For me, it's a massive shock, and I don't want to speak on behalf of my co-host, but I both of us have criticized him in the past. We've loved him in the past, but one thing will assure you that Virat Kohli, the captain, was a massive brand for Test cricket, and he's going to be a massive loss. Just even leaving captaincy, I know he's not leaving the game yet, but his captaincy, you just see a different energy. Whether India or lose or win, it doesn't really matter. Like the entertainment that you would see, and you can see this Test match against South Africa. There was entertainment there, whether you like it or you don't like it. The passion that he had, the drive he had, is next to none. Abra, your initial thoughts? Before I get the initial thoughts, can I read a statement?
Sure.
I'm sorry. It's been 7 years of hard work, toil, and relentless perseverance every day to take the team in the right direction. I've done the job with absolute honesty and left nothing out there. Everything has to come to a halt at some stage, and for me, as Test captain of India, it's now. There have been many ups and also some downs along the journey, but never has there been a lack of effort or lack of belief. I've always believed in giving my 120% in everything I do, and if I can't do that, I know it's not the right thing to do. I have absolute clarity in my heart, and I cannot be dishonest to my team. I want to thank the BCCI for giving me the opportunity to lead my country for such a long period of time, and more importantly, to all the teammates who bought into the vision I had for the team from day one and never gave up in any situation. You guys have made this journey so memorable and beautiful. To Ravi Bhai and the support and the support group who were the engine behind this vehicle that moved us upwards in Test cricket consistently, you all have played a massive role in bringing this vision to life. Lastly, a big thank you to MS Dhoni, who believed in me as a captain and found me to be an able individual who could take Indian cricket forward. Yes, Don, your thoughts.
Surprising, no doubt about that. I mean, if it, the past 6 8 months in Indian cricket have just been like a roller coaster. It's just been a lot of downs, barely any ups. The World Cup didn't go very well. The series didn't go very well. The IPL problems, and then a lot of the white ball captaincy issue that came out between BCCI and Virat. Surprising, no doubt about that. But if you look at it only in terms of the decision that came out. One, of course, it's not something that happened overnight. Definitely, I think this has been going on for a few months. I think the events of this series has probably maybe escalated a little bit. Maybe not. We really don't know about that. But two, it is just the timing of it, right? It just seemed a little. So the timing of it was weird because just a couple months back he left white ball captaincy. He left T20 captaincy, was forced to leave white ball ODI captaincy, and then suddenly now he's leaving Test cricket as well. I feel like the timing of it, in terms of Indian cricket, he has always been a proud man. And I think the one of the best Test captains that India has ever had. I think the fact that he was able to bring in this kind of a phenomenon of fast bowling where teams are scared to face us now if we go to play Test matches against them. I think that a lot of credit has to go to Virat Kohli. A lot of credit has to go to Ravi Shastri. Both of them have actually changed the way Indian cricket is looked, the way Indian tours are looked. I think even though they don't get enough practice, we've discussed they've had a fair amount of losses, but I still think that there's always been fight. In his first test as captain, I think in the Adelaide when they lost, he said that he's going out there to win, and he set that predicament, and I think he's continued doing that for the past 7 years, and he's done a phenomenal job. My worry is that just the timing of it and who takes over. That's just on the cricketing purpose. I think if we talk about what has gone into it, there's a lot that we can talk, and I'm sure we'll get into it a little bit. But I'm just feeling unfortunate that who takes over at this stage where Pujara and Rahane are not certain for a game anymore. Rohit Sharma is too old. Again, you're going to probably have the same problem again. I feel like KL Rahul and Pant, are they ready? Those are problems that we might face, we might have. So that's what we'll have to see. I'm glad that he's still going to be around, and I think that the energy that he will play with will still be similar. He might not get as much footage as he's getting right now, but I think his energy will always be the same. I think that's the one thing that you cannot take away from him. He leaves everything on the field, and he accepts a win and a loss. That's the one beautiful thing about Virat Kohli.
I wanted to ask you a question. You mentioned that his statement when he was leaving the T20 captaincy. Over there, he stated that he wants to focus on ODI and Test captaincy, and this will
Yeah,
help him.
yeah.
And he said the same thing when he left the RCB captaincy. So, for me, it's very evident that this was a forced decision. I don't think either he was going to get sacked, and that's why he did that, or yeah, I think that's the only thing, or he was told by someone to do this. But for me, there's no. I think Boria Mojumdar, he tweeted saying that. It was his decision, everything like that, but there has to be something to it. It can't just be his decision, because he clearly stated he wants to be the captain, the test captain, and he wants to focus on that. The World Test Championship cycle just started a few months ago in England when they started playing over there. I don't think he would have let it go in the middle of this.
There's a few things, right? I mean, a lot of people like Boria Majumdar and a few others have always said that, that it's probably his decision. I think the decision is still somewhat his, but I feel like the past few events in the past few months have really taken his heart away from it, I think. And I think that a culmination of the way things have been handled, I think, over the past few months has probably escalated this decision. And I think the fact that they lost to South Africa when it was very big chance for them to win it has probably put some doubt in his mind. He's not the same talisman that we saw a few years back. I feel like he's starting to struggle a little bit. I think even though he scored that 79, there's a lot of talk about his batting. There's a lot of talk about if he's leading India properly. I think all those things, eventually these things take a toll on a player, and I think that's what's happened. It's very, very unfortunate with the way things have gone down. I think a clarity needs to come from BCCI. I think that the way they handled the white ball situation and everything was awful. For a club that has for a board that has so much power, for a board that has so much going for them, I think this is a show of bad faith for one of their best, arguably one of their best current players in the current setup. So I think there's the way it's gone down. I just hope that they can put all of this behind and really reset in a nice way, and Virat can really have another 29 centuries out to his name, because I think he's one of those players that really deserves it.
Honestly, for me, I think Virat Kohli, could have started grooming a captain, and if it was a decision like people are saying, not you, sorry, people are saying that it was his decision and it's thoroughly his. But if it was, I think he would have already had someone like a vice captain or someone that he was training. You could clearly see Dhoni had that with Virat Kohli, but Virat Kohli was not ready to leave. I think any format he was not ready to leave. There has been politics going on. I think Jay Shah is involved in this because since he's come, he's been pulling the strings. In my opinion, Ganguly is the face. Ganguly will get blamed. Don't get me wrong. You can't not blame Ganguly. You can't just say he's a puppet, but he's there as well, right? He's the president, so you have to put some blame on him as well. The way that was handled, the whole of the BCCI, and then even Virat Kohli has made mistakes as well. When he had the power with Ravi Shastri, he rubbed a lot of people in the wrong way, right?
And it's coming back to bite him.
It's coming back to bite him. Whether it was Anil Kumble or whether it was other thing, he's also done things. Right now, I'm defending him because he was the one person who actually made Test cricket entertaining for me, right? Like Test cricket for me is my favorite format. I enjoyed series in the past, but now it's become consistently my favorite format just because of him. I remember I was sitting in the stands in one of the cities that you went to school in Hyderabad over there against Bangladesh. Bro, he scored a double hundred. And Bangladesh are like 150 for 6. It's like a boring game going on, one-sided, and like he suddenly looks at the crowd. It feels like he's looking at us and he's telling us to clap and this and that. So just do these small things. It means a lot. So I'm defending him, but also at the same time he's also rubbed people the wrong way. So it's coming back to him now. And unfortunately, right now Indian cricket it's in a dark place, to be very honest with you. And it should not be, because with the money that the IPL is generating and the strength in terms of the Ranji Trophy, and you saw in that Australia series the squad depth. With all this at your disposal, you should not be doing these kind of things.
And that's the biggest problem. I think like I said even before, I think the power that the BCCI has currently, almost they can set what they want in their favor in terms of scheduling and stuff like that. They have that kind of power, and we've noticed in the past. It's unfortunate that it's come down to this. Yes, Virat Kohli has made his mistakes. Yes, the BCCI has made their mistakes. I think it's time to move on from that. I think logically.
But it's not moving on, right? I mean, we said the same thing. I don't know if you said this, but I said this after he left the ODI captaincy. He was sacked. I said, now they should move on, let him focus on Test cricket and everything. Correct. But it hasn't moved on. It's gone back to square one.
I agree 100%. Yeah,
I'll
what's
just
up?
take the comments and then I have to talk to you about your favorite player of all time as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Abu Bakr saying, "Glory, glory, Man United, GGMU." That's he's making fun of me, but also it's a middle finger to you because he has Bruno captain.
I mean, I'm honestly, honestly, I feel like the competition with Abu Bakr, the competition is almost unfair. I think he's way above the league at this point in time. Maybe a little bit of competition with you. I'm way down the pecking order, so nothing to me. You guys can fight it out, but it is. I'm with Abu Bakr in GGMU because.
I, I can't win because like I have a
Along with
lot of
Indian cricket being in a bad spot, I think Manchester United also is in a bad spot, and that's really helping Mustafa right now.
yeah. I mean like and on top of that, fantasy football it doesn't help either, right? Like you have the
Yeah,
ups
Abu
and
Bakr,
downs.
2 goals, man. What the hell? What is this thinking? Unfair.
Yeah, man, that was a world class move there. And then Puneet's in the house. He's saying Bumrah, Cahill, Rahul, or Pant captain choice.
I would go with punt.
You would go Rishabh Pant.
I think it's important to keep red ball and white ball separate. I think red ball cricket, let's have punt captain. White ball cricket, if you want KL, that's understood. Of course,
You know
Rohit
what
is
changed my
already
mind?
there because
I
what's
honestly
up?
would have kept Rahul captain. You know what changed my mind?
Sunny
The
Gavaskar.
whole country, no, the whole country versus 11 when you heard.
Yeah, that was an uncalled for
After that,
move.
I'm like, oh. I loved it. To be very honest with you, I'm someone who enjoys banter. I love like the stop mic aggression. I know it's not the silly thing to do. It's not the right thing to do. But me and you were never the front benchers in school either, right? Like
Yeah.
we got into trouble all the time. So like I don't think it's like we enjoy these kind of things. But yeah, I don't think after that the sledge itself, I didn't find it powerful.
Yeah.
After Virat Kohli chirping and everything, you have a sledge like
It
that.
was, yeah, it was unfortunate. I think that was unnecessary, uncalled for. But I think Rishabh Pant, I think just because
No,
of the fact that he's a
for me,
persona.
it's not like what he did is wrong. I'm saying the sledge was bad. He should have
Yeah.
said something better. He should have like, even if he swore or something, I would have dealt with it. But I didn't understand what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rishabh Pant. The only problem with Rishabh Pant is, um,
Inconsistency.
Virat Kohli when he was captain, no one could say anything. He could do whatever he wants because his bat was speaking.
Yeah.
Right now, people are saying whatever they want because he's thinking with Rishabh Pant. Like
Inconsistent.
if what kind of message is he going to send? He has to clearly tell his players that listen, I'm going to play like this, that's just my style, but I need you to have different roles. If he can clear that from ball one, then okay. But if there's going to be youngsters coming in, whether it's Shubman Gill, whether it's someone else coming in the next couple of years, if they see him as the captain and they start playing shots like that, then it's going to be, I think it'll work in T20s, but in test matches it might
I
be.
think I
Don't get me
think
wrong, I'm a huge Rishabh Pant fan. I think he should be India's wicket keeping batsman.
I think that's when the importance of a coach comes in. I think to get those statements right, and I think Rahul Dravid will do a good job of that. I think he's a good man to manage that. I think if there's one man to
Yeah,
manage
I'm
this
coming to
transition,
Rahul Dravid. I'm
if
coming
there's
to
one
Rahul
man, I know
Dravid.
what
I'm
you're
not
going to
leaving
say
him.
also. I'm ready for the answer also. I was like, if there's one, but in my opinion, one man to manage this transition, I think Rahul Dravid is a good man to handle it. He's been thrown into the deep end,
He's played with the.
unfortunately. Yeah, he's been thrown into the deep end. I think now the way he kind of battles it out from there will be commendable to see. If he can really change it around and have India continue to be the force that they are to reckon with, I think that will be a good job done by the coach for sure. And I think one other thing about Rishabh is that he gives you about 8-10 years of undivided captaincy. Because he's only 24. Hopefully, if he remains fit and everything, he's about at least about 7 to 8 years of cricket left in him, which is of good cricket left in him.
That's more of a
People go
Graham
with him.
Smith kind of route, right? Going to a younger
Yeah,
batsman.
going to a
I
younger
mean,
one and
Graham
then
Smith was
just
22. He's
sticking.
24.
Yeah, sticking to him, through a relatively dark phase, and then hopefully, when he leaves, he's in a Indian cricket is hopefully in a much better position.
Yeah, and Abu Bakr saying we want justice for Virat. BCCI will regret this. Puneet is saying who's responsible? Dada or Jesha? I think they're all responsible. Even Kohli is responsible. Ravi Shastri is responsible. Rahul Dravid is responsible. Everyone, the people in the board who are leaking this information to the media, they're responsible. These PTI sources or whatever you call it. Was it the Press trust of India.
Yeah, PTI. Yep.
People are, people from the BCCI are leaking to them. So whoever they're also involved, and they're making money out of this. It's not something that's happening for free. People are benefiting out of this scandal. Like, me and you are fans, and we cover cricket. We enjoy the game, but there are people who are also benefiting. There are people who are also hurting from this.
PTI, especially PTI, because I think that the leaking part of it. Yes, who is doing what in the back of the mind is all it's unfortunate, but you really never really know the story. But people who are leaking it is a little bit unfortunate because especially like the people who are getting retained by these franchises and everything. It's always fun to have that kind of element of surprise. I think that they should let that be, and you should try to respect the players and the staff, the people who are involved in this. I think that the leaking part of it is most importantly should be questioned. With that being said, I think everyone is equal. No one is. I don't think you can single out one person and be like, okay, he's the person responsible or anything. I think it's a culmination of a lot of people and a lot of things that have probably been brushed under the carpet for the past few years are all now, just opening up a lot of kind of a can of worms is being opened up, and everything needs to just clean out. It's unfortunate. And for the way it is right now, I've mentioned this like a broken record. I think the way with the power and the money that the BCCI has, they have no right to be in such a situation.
Yeah, police asking who do you want to replace Pujara and Rahane? I would say Vihari is one for sure.
Yeah, I think Shubman Gill has been knocking on the door.
Shubman Gill. You can try Shreyas Iyer. Shreyas Iyer is the problem with the short ball, but I don't know how that's going to work. But he did score 100 in India. But overseas, whoever comes in is going to struggle. It's not going to be like bring somebody new in and they're going to struggle. It's going to take some time.
And it's also, I think for especially places like South Africa, I think you have to learn to read the conditions a little bit more. Needing that extra fifth bowler was not really needed. You saw 200 to 50 has been the average score. Everyone's just been scoring that. Just go with 7 plus 4, and then really that extra batsman could really help that tipping in the favor of the other team, which gives you that 250, 200, 222, about 270, 280, and suddenly becomes a challenging total. That is something that they probably have to learn a little bit more.
Vin is asking, is the next step retirement?
I hope not. I really hope not. I don't think that he'll score.
I don't know what he means by next step. Next step means means tomorrow, or right now. The next step will be if he's in his bed, like to get up from his bed and then play the one-day series.
Yeah. Hopefully, I really hope that he has a little bit more left to give to Indian cricket. I would not want
he has a lot to give.
Yeah,
I think, bro, he made it clear he wants to be captain of the 2023 India World Cup squad, which is one more year from now, right?
Correct.
He could have easily captained for another couple of years if he wanted to. He did want to. And also, Abu Bakr made a good point that, even if he was not informed, to be very honest with you, when you're batting poorly or you're looking out of touch, it's different. He was he was being inconsistent, but it wasn't like he was out of sorts.
Yeah.
His game was still intact. You saw that innings was a class innings in the last game. We saw that in Australia as well in the Adelaide day-night test match. He played a really good innings. So he had innings here and there. He's not looking out of sorts. In the T20 series against England, he was smashing it to all parts.
Yeah.
He was man of the series as well. So it's not like he's out of it.
His high standards, we are used to seeing a Virat Kohli century. Yeah. And suddenly if you see a 70, it's just not acceptable. That's the problem that we've had now with Virat Kohli.
And so one thing I want to talk about is in that statement, which I read to you.
It's too new, bro. It's too new. He just had one series with Rahul Dravid. Why is he going to support Rahul Dravid? I knew this was coming.
I was going to ask you. No, listen. No, it doesn't matter. You can say that, best of luck to Rahul Dravid and the next captain or whatever.
He's upset. He's upset. He's not going to say it. He's clearly upset.
Also, Rahul Dravid was involved in controversy when Saurav Ganguly and Greg Chappell were involved. Okay. I don't know what you talk and then is that just coincidence that now he's coach and there's another controversy?
Bro, this was happening even before Rahul Dravid took over. What do you want to do that suddenly it comes out?
I'll tell you something very honestly. Rahul Dravid, I don't think he necessarily has a problem with Virat Kohli, but I think at the same time it might not be his call or anything. At the same time, I don't know how that relationship would have lasted.
That's probably true. That is
I don't know how it
true.
lasted.
Because he's a similar kind of guy to Anil Kumble. I think if Virat and Anil didn't get along, I think Virat and Rahul could have had a little bit of an issue. But in early days, I think it's hard to say. Maybe Virat has also matured from that, and I feel like that was one of the Virat mistakes. The way the Anil Kumble situation was handled, unfortunately, that was on Virat a little bit more. But with that being said, I think at this point in time, it's not Rahul Dravid's fault. Neither is it Virat's. I think the Virat situation has just gone out of control, and Rahul Dravid is facing the brunt of it. Now he has to reset everything, and it's going to be a hard job for him as well. I just hope that
Also,
Virat,
we have to remember, we have to remember also, like in cricket. Sorry to cut you there. I hammered Rahul Dravid after this Test series because we drew a series drew a match against New Zealand in India, and we lost the series where my man Ravi, who I criticized every single day of my life while he was coach, I never appreciated him for what he was. He won with the C team down under in the Gabba, breaking fortresses, chilling. Australia used to be 9 down, Ravi used to be 10 down, and it was a party. But here, with Rahul Dravid, I did criticize him openly, but at the same time, there is a bit of over exaggeration that I do. That's just my nature. I would say that as a coach, you don't have the same influence as a footballer. Abu Bakr just mentioned that Dravid is like Arteta. First of all, Dravid is not a cone man, so I don't want to disrespect him too much like that. But jokes apart, I think the influence, like Arteta, he has much more responsibility, whereas for Rahul Dravid, of course, he has responsibility, but the influence that he can have on a game is a bit less. Like, I don't think he can handle bowling changes like a football coach will get a sub on. He'll change a striker for a midfielder or whatnot. I don't think they can do that in the batting order. Also, I don't know how much influence he'll have during a game.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think the influence of a coach is a little bit limited, but they'll have those plans and planning and plotting and stuff like that. And I think a captain, I think his role will be a lot more now, because if a new captain is going to be getting rolled in, that's going to be the problem. If a new captain's coming in, that's Rahul Dravid will have to take a lot of responsibility. But if you had a captain like Mahendra Singh Dhoni who's making these calls, then it's a very different story.
Yeah.
So I think Dravid's role will be important.
Police saying, after watching KL's captaincy in IPL and second test, I personally feel he won't do that well for India. Honestly, it's too early to judge in terms of test cricket. That match, he lost by 7 wickets. Virat Kohli lost by 7 wickets. So you can't really compare KL Rahul. You have to give him a proper run if you're going to back him, right? And then
that's the problem. You're going to give KL Rahul about 3-4 years, and then suddenly he's 34 again, and then you're looking for another captain. So I think there's a need of consistency. That's why.
How old was Virat Kohli when he took over? He was 26. 2 years younger. 3 years younger.
That's something. You gave him almost you gave him almost 7-8 years, right? I want someone to have 7-8 years. That's the only reason. I don't think KL will give you 7-8 years for sure. Because I think the shelf life of a captain of a cricketer is becoming very limited now. I think 35 is where they start to play either only IPL or they start to phase out into the thing. I don't think they can manage 3 formats after a point.
So Siraj ko bana do.
Siraj ko bana do. I think, there's certain characters that don't match captaincy. I think that's a character that would not handle captaincy very well. I think you keep him as a good bowler, and hopefully he can perform the way he has been, and that will be good for Indian cricket.
I wanted to ask you how much of an impact it will have on players like Bumrah, on Shami and Siraj. I think, if it wasn't for Kohli, these guys might have not had a test career like this. Even Siraj is very short. But we saw when Dhoni was there, Dhoni would take bowlers like Mohit Sharma. Honestly, even in test matches, I would question his selection. But in one days, it worked. Don't get me wrong. One day, he was great. But in test matches, Dhoni got it wrong quite a few times. And Virat Kohli changed that. I think that's where he was better than Dhoni in test matches, where he understood it wasn't on the field thing. On the field thing, Kohli was, much less calm than Dhoni or whatever you want to call it. But I think outside of that, the work that he did, the homework that he did, getting those fast bowlers in, that's a huge, huge factor. And what impact do you think it'll have now on these bowlers?
I honestly think it's going to have an impact on the whole team quite significantly. The way the messages are coming out, I saw Bumrah's message,
even Ashwin?
Ashwin, I don't know yet, right? I don't have, but I honestly think that they figured out whatever they had, the issues, and that's gone down. I mean, that's been cleared off.
And Ravi was right about Ashwin.
Huh?
Ravi was right about Ashwin.
but almost everyone, I saw Mayank, KL, Bumrah, Shami, Siraj. I've seen a whole bunch of tweets that have come out, and everyone has put him in a very high pedestal. I haven't seen anything from Ashwin, but I'm sure it's coming. But that's the thing. That's the kind of impact he's had. He's had that kind of a impact on all these players. So it's going to be hard. But the good thing is he's not retiring from cricket as yet. And I hope that when he retires, he's going to give them enough notice. That way they know that to be ready for it and not come as a shock. I really hope that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah. I just want to take these comments from Abu Bakr because I have a different kind of perspective to it, using actually, he said the same thing that we said, the love for Kohli that the young players had, Siraj, Mayank, Thakur. But Kohli had a lot of experience, had a lot of learning and experience when he took over for RCB and under Dhoni. KL Rahul has been VC for like a year only. But with Test cricket, I mean, that is true. Like even Dhoni, he had experience under Kumble. But also Dhoni, in one day in T20, he had no experience. They just sent him on a flight to South Africa with Joginder Sharma and the boys, and he won the cup, and his whole career changed. Right? His whole career changed thanks to Misbah Haq. So I think
sometimes things just fall in your favor, and then they just take off.
Graham Smith, who knew that how he's going to be, right? He wasn't something like we didn't know what he was going to do. He was 22 years old.
Maybe a Rishabh Pant. Actually, you know what? Maybe a Rishabh Pant will really change his. He'd still continue the style of batting, but maybe he'll take a little bit more responsibility, and actually, it might work out in his favor. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, it will. Like, look, he has the leadership qualities in the sense that he's the guy who speaks the most behind the stumps. He gets the guys motivated. Like, I've heard him so many times that
cutie ball.
Shabash. Yeah, no. He also says like, where's the voice? Where's the energy? Come on, like he's there. He'll pump you up and everything. And the wicketkeeper does have a good angle in terms of field placements and all that. I honestly feel that now you're in a position that you just roll the dice and go with one person. You have Rishabh Pant, you've seen him in the IPL. You have KL Rahul, you've seen him in the IPL. You've seen him a bit here and there for India. I think you have to take the advice of you'll have to take advice from Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma as well. I feel. I know they won't do this, but or they might not do this, but you have to take advice and then you have to roll the dice on somebody and go with it. What else can you do? You're put in a certain position. It's not a perfect road.
That's an option too.
Yeah, Jasprit Bumrah, the new Pat Cummins, huh?
Yeah, it's an option.
You think so?
It's an option. Why not? The only problem is he might not be a consistent player. He might be rested every now and again.
I won't go with Jasprit Bumrah just because he plays 3 formats for India and already he has this kind of action where I feel. But he's a fast bowler.
True.
And he can be, injury prone. I know, we've seen Pat Cummins, but Pat Cummins has Steve Smith behind him, bro. That's a big, big difference.
I mean, whoever it is will hopefully have.
No, there's
what's his name? Virat behind him. I mean, I think Virat still loves Indian cricket. So.
Yeah, in that case, of course. But I just feel a fast bowler is playing 3 formats compared to a batsman playing 3 formats. It's a bit like that. But again, that's just perspective. Pat Cummins is doing it. He's successful right now. For Delhi, he did take responsibility, especially in batting. He did, but I also felt that this is Vinay's comment. I also felt that he did get a few decisions wrong, and he will learn from that. I think.
Yeah, I mean, any new captain who's going to come in will learn. There's no doubt about that. I think you'll have to just, like you said, roll the dice and hope for the best.
Virat Kohli, out of 10, how do you rate him as a Test captain?
As a Test captain, 9 on 10.
9 on 10.
Just because he didn't win that World T20, otherwise I would have taken performance.
World
Test Championship.
He didn't win that, and he didn't win this South Africa series. I think if he won the South Africa series, he would be right up there.
Yeah, because he would have won. He would have won in all his Sena, right? So South Africa, England, New Zealand, and.
Should I ask you some tougher questions?
Go ahead. Australia.
Australia. He won when Smith and Warner went there, and then this time he lost a game, and then Rahane won. Nothing against him. I'm just I'm putting you on the spot. That's my job, right? Like
it's still Virat's team, man.
New Zealand, they lost 2-0, right? Yeah, 2-0.
Wait, they won New Zealand with Virat as captain, right?
They didn't win.
No, they did.
When?
They won the series. 2017, I think. Was that last? Are jeete bhai. South Africa is the only one that they didn't. Yeah, South Africa is the only one that they didn't.
Rahul Dravid.
So Rahul Dravid tha wo.
Oh
yeah, you're right. Sorry, no bad.
Did they 2017? When did they win?
No, they lost. I remember. That was. I don't know why I got it confused, but you're right.
He didn't win, right?
No, nahi jita.
Nahi jita. So regarding all that, I know it's an emotional time. To be very honest with me, he's my favorite player. One of my favorite players for sure. Growing up also. I think when did he start leading?
2000.
Yeah, I was already graduated, but he's someone actually. To be very honest with you, for me, Virat Kohli, the captain, the batsman, everything. That Adelaide Test match, of course, that one-day match as well, where he smashed Malinga. But that Adelaide Test match when they went for it, I'm like, man, this is my role model. He went for the win. They lost that game, but he took the attack to the opposition.
Absolutely, I think that's the predicament that he set, and then it never looked back from there.
अब अनुष्का नहीं आती मैचेस को अबू बकर
कोई को
से।
आएंगे उन्हें।
अरे अगर मियाँ खेल रहा तो क्यों नहीं आती?
हाँ नहीं आती, बट अब उन्हें वो उसका झूलन गोस्वामी का कर रही ना, बिजी हो जाती है अभी उन्हें।
Julian. He played. What else is there? Is there any other questions? I just want to take. Yeah, I think it pretty much wraps it up. Is there anything that you want to ask me or put me on the spot? Because I asked you quite a few tough questions.
You're usually the one who knows who puts me on the spot with these things, but uh, your point. If you had to pick one player right now, no explanation, just one player. If you had to pick for captain.
For Test captain or like all formats?
For Test captain. One day we know Rohit for the next couple of years, so we know that white ball may. For Test captaincy, if you have to pick one player.
What are the options?
Oh, you're thinking of the options. KL Rahul, Jasprit Bumrah, Rishabh Pant, Ravichandran Ashwin. These are your options.
Rahane is not an option?
Unfortunately, I think his time is coming to a close.
It's the whole country versus 11 men. Let's go with him first. Let's go with him first. Make Rishabh Pant vice captain. Let him, get that experience. Let Virat Kohli be there, and let's go with that and see how it goes. Just because I feel that he has a bit more maturity, look, whoever is there, he's going to get criticized. I don't think this guy is going to automatically start winning games, whoever the new captain is. I could be wrong. It could be an amazing thing. It's a team sport at the end of the day. Sometimes, the captain can have a couple of right moves, but the team also has to perform. Because I feel like, Virat Kohli did make some poor decisions in selection and in, field placements, especially in some tours in England and even the last South African tour. So there are issues with captains, but also you need your players to perform. Like, Rahane, Pujara, and the bowlers as well. They weren't up to the mark in this series. So I think you just have to go with anyone. I would probably just go with Rahul because initially I think he's a bit more calmer, even though that whatever incident happened, the comment happened. It's fine. Like
you're making Sunil Shetty very happy right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be good as well. We'll have Atiya Shetty as the first lady, and
let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's see how
we won't miss
we
won't miss Anushka Sharma as much. But no, just jokes aside. But I think because he's 29, like you said. Make Rishabh Pant vice captain and go from there. Honestly, Rishabh Pant's captain as well. I think it's fine. It's like I said, it's roll of the dice. I cannot tell you. I'm not octopus. I can't tell you who's going to work, to be quite honest with you. It's difficult for me, honestly. Even though I watch quite a bit of cricket and everything like that, I've seen this team for a long time. But I think they're in a position that no one is expecting this, and I don't know how it happened, because I thought that Virat Kohli would be Test captain until the end of this World Test Championship cycle.
It's also like the World Test Championship cycle. I think that we are behind the 8 ball now. I think it's a lot of games already done, and we've lost a fair amount, honestly. In New Zealand, and then we drew in New Zealand. We lost this series. We kind of behind the 8 ball a little bit. So I think that maybe we might not make it in the finals. That's why he's decided to just move on. But you never know. You can't say that until it's actually the final situation. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully Rishabh Pant, but that's about it. I do feel bad for Virat. I do hope that he really comes out strong and has a couple more really good seasons before he can call it a day. I think he's already 33. He probably has about 2-3 good years of cricket left in him. I think he maximizes that, gives us glimpses of what we've seen in the past and what we know and love him for. With the batting, at least, yes, he won't be the captain anymore, but at least with the batting side, and he can really, go off on a high. That's what I want for him. I think he deserves at least that much.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that he hasn't won a trophy as captain, and he couldn't win the South Africa series. I think that would have been the final frontier for them. But apart from that, I think it's been a very good career. What he's done off the field in terms of the team as well, he's got. I think teams now fear India. When we were growing up, there was, oh my God, it's Magra. Oh my God, he's swearing at us. Oh my God, Peterson is throwing something. Was it jelly beans on Zahir Khan while he was batting? Oh my God, this is happening. Shane Warne swearing. But now teams fear India. Virat Kohli, you saw that in the test match with Van der Dusen. He's like, oh, you're picking on young kids. Come talk to me. He did that, I think, in Australia as well. He did that in the last test match. He's done it in England as well. So he's someone he's got that Australian personality. You can criticize, behavior, whatever you want, but Ricky Ponting and his men were the nastiest people on the pitch.
Oh,
nastiest.
absolutely.
If the stump
most
mic,
ruthless.
This all respect to Super Sport, but this stump mic is actually very high. I enjoy it, but it's very high. If the Australians had that stump mic,
Muted.
especially in the Ricky Point, yeah, it would have been muted. Like, that was nasty stuff. You could lip read me, and you both have seen, like, what's happened
Yeah,
there. So,
yeah.
and I think Virat Kohli got that mentality, that winning mentality. They played high risk cricket. They lost games, they lost series, but they were always entertaining to watch under Virat Kohli. I think that's one thing that I would say.
Yeah,
Standing
I agree.
ovation.
Well done, Virat Kohli.
Well done, Virat Kohli, man. Thank you so much, Don. I think that kind of wraps it up. I'll just take the last two, three. Was it called last two, three comments? Dhoni was the captain and won against New Zealand 1-0 in 2000. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was like during the Rahul Dravid Tendulkar times,
Sorry, my confusion.
2008 9.
I got confused there.
Musti will be playing Ravi Shastri in it in Kohli's biography. Yeah. What was the closing statement done by? What a closing statement done by. He's appreciated.
Thank you.
I think Abu Bakr Stop saying I think all the teams will be the happiest now that Virat is not captain. I agree with that. This will be like Arsene Wenger getting sacked. क्या बोलते हैं Don भाई?
अरे वेंगर कहीं को लाते यार तुम लाते हो बीच में छोड़ो उसको.
It's definitely
heartbreaking then heartbreaking now.
No, it's equal for you. End of an era, I think, especially for a lot of us fans. For me, not just it's not more about the results, more about the entertainment, the passion, really like getting up to watch India play Test cricket, watch 8-9 hours with that kind of. If he has so much energy throughout the day, we just need to sit and watch, right? So I think he provided that.
Yeah.
So it's great.
Since Abu Bakr liked it, I would like to end with again, well done, Virat Kohli.
One last question I have. Yeah. Is he India's greatest Test captain ever?
अरे फिर से पूछ रहा क्या? Yeah, I told you.
I said.
Yes, I
agree.
agree.
You said. I asked you overall captain.
No, Test only, Pailage. I agree with it. Definitely India's best red ball captain.
Best red ball captain.
Overall, right, still Dhoni by a mile, but red ball, yes, I think definitely.
All right, man. But I think that wraps it up. There's still plenty of drama, whether it's Saurav Ganguly, Rahul Dravid, Jay Shah, Virat Kohli himself. There's still a lot of drama to be unfolded. We'll see what happens in the next few days. If we get any reports or anything like that, we hear anything, we'll definitely get you that. And,
I'm also more focused on IPL. Please announce the retentions and please announce when the auction is. It's enough. What is this nonsense? Troubling me for so many days.
Yeah, I mean, we need the full list of the new teams as well.
Yeah.
The 3 players they're retaining, the official list of the 3 or 4 players that each team is retaining, and when the actual auction is. And then the Under-19 World Cup is going on, so we'll get you the latest from that as well. And cricket will always be going on, so we'll get you the latest, the ODI series, and then the last Ashes Test match.
Yep, definitely.
All right, Don, thank you so much. It was a very emotional podcast, and take care of yourself. Amazing. By the way, sorry, before I let you go again, there's a player called Bawa in the Indian 100. Please translate what that means in Hyderabadi Urdu.
It means your father.
What a way to end, ladies and gentlemen. That's the best closing statement. Take care. And we'll catch you soon. Thank you so much.